You've booked your flights to Calgary, you're dreaming of those iconic mountain lakes, and now you're staring at accommodation options wondering, should I stay right in Banff town site where I'm in the heart of everything? What about Canmore? Is it too far outside the park? Maybe I should splurge on Lake Louise for the full experience. Or wait, I keep hearing about this place called Jasper. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all these location choices, you're not alone. Choosing where to base yourself can make or break your Banff experience, and today I'm going to break down exactly what each option offers so you can make the perfect choice for your trip. Before we dive in, if you're feeling overwhelmed trying to figure out where to stay, how many nights in each area, and what order to do everything in, I've got you covered. My Banff itineraries at travelbanffcanada.com break it all down day by day. Where to stay each night, what to see, realistic drive times, hiking options, restaurants, and even when to move between Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper. They're based on my local experience helping thousands of travelers plan smooth, stress-free trips. I'll leave a link to my Banff itineraries in the show notes. Today we're diving deep into one of your biggest planning decisions, where to base yourself during your Banff adventure. Each option has distinct advantages, and by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which location fits your travel style. Let's start with Banff town site itself, staying right inside the national park. This is what most first-time visitors picture when they think staying in Banff. The magic of staying in the Banff town site is that you're literally surrounded by mountains. Step out of your hotel and you've got Cascade Mountain towering above you, Mount Rundle stretching along the horizon, and Tunnel Mountain right there. The energy is incredible, especially in the summer, and it has that classic mountain resort town buzz. For the Banff town site, here's what you're looking at distance-wise. To get to Johnston Canyon is about 30 minutes. To get to Lake Louise is 45 minutes. Moraine Lake, around 60 minutes. Canmore is 25 minutes away, and Calgary, the airport you'll fly into, is just 1.5 hours away. The hiking right from town is fantastic. You can walk to the Tunnel Mountain trailhead, the Hoodoos Trail, or even start the Sulphur Mountain hike from downtown. Plus, you're close to the Banff Gondola and all the town site attractions. But here's some reality. The Banff town site is expensive, it gets crowded, especially in summer, and parking can be a nightmare. Even as a local, I avoid downtown Banff on busy summer weekends because it's just so packed. So who should stay in the Banff town site? If you're a first-time visitor and you want that full staying in Banff experience, it's ideal. If you're coming without a rental car, you have better access to tours and shuttles and public transportation. If you're one of those travelers who loves being in the center of the action, then the Banff town site is probably for you, and anyone else who prioritizes convenience over budget. Now let's talk about another option, which is the town of Canmore and where I actually live. Canmore is technically outside the national park, but it's only 5 minutes to the Banff Park gates and 25 minutes from the town of Banff. What I love about Canmore is that it wasn't built as a resort town. It started as a mining community and still keeps that local lived-in feel, even as it becomes a popular base for visitors. You'll find a mix of locals, small businesses, and mountain life that feels a little more relaxed than Banff. The restaurant scene is incredible, and you often get better value for your accommodation, and you still have those massive mountain views surrounding you. For Canmore, your distances are a little bit further, so the Banff town site is 25 minutes away. Johnston Canyon is going to be a good 40 to 50 minutes away, and Lake Louise is 60 minutes. Calgary is just over an hour to the airport. The hiking right from Canmore is phenomenal. You've got grassy lakes just minutes from downtown, a short scenic trail with turquoise water, and Howling Peak towering right above town for those looking for a bigger challenge and incredible views. And being on the edge of Kananaskis means you're close to some of the Rockies' best trails that many Banff visitors never even find. For winter visitors, Canmore makes a great base for activities like dog sledding. The tours actually depart from Canmore. You're also close to Kananaskis, where you'll find snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and some of the best winter scenery outside the park. And yet, you're still within easy reach of the main ski resorts, Sunshine, Lake Louise, and Norquay. Just plan on a bit more drive time than when you're staying right in Banff. And the free ski shuttles don't always extend to Canmore. The trade-offs, you'll do a bit more driving to reach Banff and Lake Louise. And if you're visiting without a car, it's totally doable. You'll just rely on the Rome Transit bus between Canmore and Banff, which adds a bit more to your travel time and a transfer for most trips. It's an easy ride, it's just something to factor into your plans. So who should choose staying in Canmore? If you're a traveler who prefers a quieter base that's a little bit more relaxed and less busy than the town of Banff. If you are planning to spend multiple days hiking and exploring in Kananaskis, or if you like having access to more vacation rentals, larger condos, and kitchens for longer stays. If you're a traveler who doesn't mind taking the Rome Transit bus into Banff if you're visiting without a car, again, it's easy, it just adds a little extra travel time. Next up on our list of places you can stay is Lake Louise. And Lake Louise is really in a category of its own. We're talking about some of the most expensive accommodation in Canada, but with some pretty incredible perks. So if you're staying at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, you're right on the shores of that famous turquoise lake. You can enjoy it in the early morning or evening once the day trippers are gone. And you have direct access to all of those nearby hikes like Lake Agnes Tea House, the Plain of Six Glaciers, Fairview Lookout, right from your doorstep. You don't have to worry about parking or sunrise shuttles, which is a huge perk. You also have the option of staying in the Lake Louise Village, which is about a 10-minute drive from the actual lake. You won't have the same right-on-the-water view, but you're still much closer than driving from Banff or Canmore. It's just really important to know that the Lake Louise Village itself is very small. It's really just one strip mall and a handful of restaurants, plus a small grocery store. From Lake Louise, you're looking at about 15 minutes up to Moraine Lake, but again, from Moraine Lake, you still need to plan to get there with a shuttle. To get back to the Banff town site is about 45 minutes, an hour to Canmore, but you're much closer to places like Emerald Lake in Yoho National Park, which is only 30 minutes away. You're also right at the junction of the Icefields Parkway, so it's perfect if you plan to explore that route or spend some time in Yoho. The trade-offs of staying either in the Lake Louise Village or at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise is it's expensive, and there's limited dining or evening atmosphere once the sun goes down. If you want to explore all of Banff National Park, you'll be doing longer drives each day. But if your priority is hiking, photography, or just soaking in those lake views, staying up there can feel pretty special. As I mentioned, there are a few other accommodation options in the village, but they're still going to be on the higher end for prices. Unless you're planning to spend multiple full days just in the Lake Louise area, I usually suggest staying elsewhere and just day tripping. So who should stay in Lake Louise? If you have staying right on the lake as your bucket list and you want that experience of being right there, canoeing on the lake, and all of the perks that come with it, this is a great place for you. If you're planning on spending 2 to 3 days focused specifically on the Lake Louise area, perhaps you're looking at a full day at Moraine Lake, a full day at Lake Louise, and maybe even a third day with hiking in the Lake Louise area or heading out to Yoho National Park. Also, if you're a photographer who really wants to catch those sunrises or sunsets at the lakes, this might be the best option for you. So now that you've explored the Banff area and the Lake Louise area, you may also want to be heading up to Jasper National Park. If you're looking to go all the way to the town of Jasper, you're looking at just under 3.5 hours north via the Icefields Parkway. Now, if Jasper's on your radar, you absolutely want to spend at least 2 to 3 nights there. You can even spend a night on the Icefields Parkway to do more along that incredible scenic drive. While a day trip along the Icefields Parkway from Banff is absolutely doable, and, based on the distance, it's even nicer from Lake Louise. But if you want to go all the way to Jasper, then it's worth staying a minimum of 1 night. Jasper has a completely different feel from Banff. It's quieter, less crowded, more wilderness focused, and it's perfect if you want to experience a different side of the Canadian Rockies. One final option that some people do consider is staying in Golden, British Columbia. It's about 90 minutes west of Banff and can be significantly cheaper for accommodation. You're perfectly positioned for Yoho National Park, so seeing Emerald Lake and Takaka Falls, and even the Lake Louise area, which is only an hour from Golden. Plus, you've also got some incredible outdoor activities right from town. So now that we've talked about the main areas where you can stay, should you stay in one place or move around? Now, this depends on your trip length and travel style. For most visitors, staying in one location works best. You'll save time, avoid the hassle of checking in and out, and it's easy to explore from a single base. Banff and Canmore are only about 20 to 25 minutes apart, so there's really no need to split your stay between them. From either town, you can easily do day trips to Lake Louise, Yoho National Park, and even parts of Kootenay National Park. Everything is within about an hour's drive, and the scenery along the way makes those drives part of the experience. Now, if you have a longer trip, say a week or more, it can make sense to add a stay in Lake Louise. Just to minimize that driving time to Yoho, the Lake Louise area hikes, and the Icefields Parkway, while letting you experience that magical early morning quiet before the crowds arrive. With more time, I'd add on that stay in Jasper National Park for 2 to 3 nights. You can finish by driving to the airport from Jasper directly, or add on a night in either Canmore, which is only an hour and 15 minutes to the airport, or even at an airport hotel in Calgary. For winter trips, the strategy looks a little different. Banff and Lake Louise are the best bases if skiing is a priority. Both have easy shuttle access to the ski hills. Sunshine and Norquay are closest to Banff, and Lake Louise Ski Resort is the closest for those staying in Lake Louise. This allows you to skip a lot of winter driving and focus on the slopes. If you want to minimize driving, staying in the town of Banff is the most convenient option. You'll have access to all the winter sightseeing highlights like the Banff Gondola and great dining for cozy evenings. Lake Louise is perfect if most of your trip revolves around skiing or you want that classic winter scene with skating right on the lake. It's quieter this time of year, but accommodation options are limited and often book up early. Canmore, of course, works too, especially for winter hiking and snowshoeing in Kananaskis, but it does mean more driving in potentially snowy conditions to reach those ski hills or when visiting the other areas around Banff. So here are my insider tips for choosing where to base yourself. Consider your transportation first. No rental car, then the Banff town site gives you better access to shuttles, tours, and public transportation. Next, you want to think about your priorities. Do you want to be in the action? Then choose the Banff town site. Do you want quieter mountain town life? Then choose Canmore. Want the ultimate luxury lake experience? Lake Louise is your choice. Now, of course, budget matters. Canmore is generally cheaper than Banff for accommodation, and Banff is also cheaper than Lake Louise. That money saved could go towards activities, better meals, or even extending your trip. If you're looking for a place with more space or a kitchen, again, you have more Airbnb options or condo-style accommodations in and around Canmore that can give your family more space. Having a kitchen is nice too, so you don't need to eat out 3 meals a day, and you can make a picnic lunch or even just to save money on food. Once you've got a clear idea of where you want to stay, I recommend booking early, especially for summer. The best accommodations in all these locations are going to fill up months in advance, especially during this peak season. One mistake I see constantly is people booking accommodations last minute, then being disappointed with their options or being shocked by the prices. You do always want to check for some seasonal closures. Some accommodations aren't open in the winter, so your options might be more limited depending on when you're traveling. And finally, the most important thing is choose based on what matters most to you. There's really no wrong choice here. It's just different experiences. Whether you want to be right in the heart of Banff, close to the trails in Canmore, or waking up beside Lake Louise, you really can't go wrong. If you're still deciding, I've got detailed hotel guides for each area on travelbanffcanada.com with my top picks for Banff, Canmore, Lake Louise, and even Jasper to help you find the right fit for your budget and travel style. I'll put links to all of those in the show notes. But remember, wherever you stay, you'll be surrounded by some of the most beautiful mountain scenery in the world. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Banff Travel Podcast. Just a quick note for you, as we head into winter, I'm going to be mixing things up a little bit here on the podcast. You can expect a blend of winter travel episodes and trip planning episodes for next year. Now, even if you're not visiting in the cold season, I hope you'll keep listening. You might just be inspired to plan a return trip and see Banff covered in snow. And if you're ready to take the guesswork out of planning, check out my Banff itineraries at travelbanffcanada.com. Each one breaks down the exact order to visit Banff, Lake Louise, Yoho, Jasper, and Canmore, with those driving times, hotel recommendations, restaurant ideas, and activity suggestions for every day. They're built from my local experience to save you those hours of research. As always, if you have specific questions about where to stay that I didn't cover today, head to banfftravelplanning.com/podcast and send them my way. I love hearing from listeners and helping with your unique travel situations. Until next time, happy planning, and I'll see you out on the trails.